This is it. This is the one we've all been waiting for. Battle Report 200. Can't even begin to tell you how excited I am. This was a long game, as I'm sure you've seen from the time of this battle report. It's going to be a long battle report, but it's worth it. It's a good one. It's huge. It's 12,000 points per side for a total of 24,000 points on each side of the table. Completely all over the table. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's me, Lord Tremendous of the Undead Legion, versus a trio of opponents. That's right. They all made 4,000 point lists. We had Token Gal playing her Lizardmen, the Punisher playing his Bretonians, and Fury's Lust playing his Legions of Chaos. This battle report is... this game, it took us 10 hours to play it, guys and gals. 10 uninterrupted hours. We ate, we had people run and get us food. I mean, we laughed, we cried, we beat the crap out of each other, and it's epic. It's really epic. It's totally fitting for Battle Report 200, and if you don't enjoy it, well, then you just don't like Warhammer, and I feel sorry for you. But sit back, relax, and get ready to hear the sultry tones of my voice as I lead you through the epicness that is Battle Report 200.
Assemble the army!
Here's some of my list. About 4,000 points are missing. Army Builder had an update, and when that happens, the old lists tend to not open correctly, and pieces are missing. There's just under 4,000 points missing. But I'm going to show you what I know for sure I had. You're going to see the battle report. And I got to be honest with you, I can't imagine most of you even care what I take in my army lists anymore. But here it is for those that do care. Here's what I have left to show of this list. And hopefully you won't crucify me. My general was Nagash, the one, the only. That's right, I have a Nagash. No, he's not painted, but he is fully assembled. So there. I also brought Archon the Black, just because I have the model and I wanted it. I know he's on the wrong base size. My opponents knew he was on the wrong base size. Nobody cared, so relax. Then, of course, I had a Vampire Lord, Lord Tremendous. He was a level 4 wizard with heavy armor. He was on an Abyssal Terror with a Giant Blade, Talisman of Endurance, Charm Shield, Quick Blood, Red Fury, Fear Incarnate, and he used the Lore of Vampires. Then I had a Tomb King, Dark Vincent. He had a Shield, Sword of Antiheroes, Armor of Destiny, Dragonbane Gem, and the other Trickster's Shard. Go figure, huh? Then I had my Lich High Priest, Queen Elizabeth, who was a level 4 wizard with a Staff of Sorcery, Seed of Rebirth, and a Laura Nehekara. And another Lich High Priest, Sinister Jeffrey, who was a level 4 wizard with a Dispel Scroll and a Laura Light. Not to be outdone, I did bring a Master Necromancer, Jeth the Appraiser, who's a level 4 wizard with a Trickster Shard and a Laura Vampire. My hero choices are a Vampire, Tuck the Biter. He's a level 2 wizard who was also my BSB. He had a great weapon, Armor of Silvered Steel, Luckstone, Red Fury, and the Lore of Undeath. And then I had a Tomb Prince, the Heir, with an Enchanted Shield, Talisman of Preservation. I had a Necrotech, the Architect, with a Dragon Helm, and another Necrotech, Saval, with Glittering Scales and an Opal Amulet. Then I brought a Tomb Herald, Isidore the Wise, and I threw him in a chariot with the Sword of Striking and the Armor of Fortune. And I did have a few other characters. They, for some reason, got deleted by Army Builder. My core choices were 4 units of 5 skeleton horse archers one had a banner and 3 others had a banner musician. There are more on the table, so I can only imagine that some of them got removed from Army Builder. So like I said, if things don't perfectly line up with this army list, that's why Army Builder got updated. I hate that. Then I had a unit of 58 skeleton warriors with hand weapon shield full command, another unit of 20 skeleton warriors with hand weapon shield full command, unit of 14 skeleton archers with light armor and full command, 2 units of 5 direwolves with a doom wolf in each, 3 units of 3 skeleton chariots with full command, a unit of 7 skeleton chariots with full command, and a unit of 8 skeleton chariots with full command with the Banner of Eternal Flame. And then my special choices were a unit of 3 Vargeists with a unit champion, 4 Carrion, 3 individual spirit hosts, 5 Hex Race with a unit champion, 3 Ubshati with great bows and full command, 3 Medusa Stalkers, because I likes them, a unit of 39 Tomb Guard with full command, hand weapon shield, and the Razor Standard, 6 Necropolis Knights with full command, 3 Tomb Scorpions, a Chimerian War Sphinx, because you'd be crazy to think I'd play a game without one, with Fiery Roar and Envenom Sting. And then my rare choices were 2 Morghast Arachai, Necrolith Colossus with extra hand weapon. I had 2 of those. A Hyro Titan, Nad to Protector, 2 Phalapults, those pieces of garbage, and 2 Caskets of Souls. Here is Fury's Lust's list in its entirety. He had Archeon on Drogar, which is his little demonic mount, and he had the Laura Fire. He had a Keeper of Secrets, who is a level 4 wizard with a lesser gift. What he rolled, I don't remember. I think he took to Sword of Striking. I'm almost positive. And they used the Laura Slanesh. And he had Kazrak the One-Eye. I'm not really sure what he does or what he is. He's some sort of Lord choice, special character. I'm sure he's some sort of bloodletter. I have no idea. I have no memory of this guy. His hero choices were a Bray Shaman, who is a level 2 wizard with the Dispel Scroll and the Lore of Beasts, a Herald of Khorne, a Herald of Nurgle, who is a level 1 wizard with the Lore of Nurgle, and of course Skull Taker. His core choices were 40 Bloodletters with full command, a unit of 20 Gore Herd with full command, Beastmen, Ambush, and extra hand weapons, a unit of 30 Plague Bearers with full command. His special choices were a unit of 5 Swords of Chaos, and in case you're not sure what those are, that's Archeon's special rule. He has to, or I don't know if he has to or if he can, take a unit of Chaos Knights, and if he does, he turns them into Swords of Chaos. Only he can join that unit, and they get a whole bunch of bonuses and stuff like that. They had full command and ensorcelled weapons. He had a unit of 5 Seekers of Slanesh with full command and Banner of Eternal Flame, and his rare choices were a Burning Chariot of Tzeentch and a Skull Cannon of Khorne. Here is Token Gal's army list. Her general was a Slann Mage Priest, who was a level 4 wizard with a Channeling Staff, Reservoir of Eldritch Energy, Harmonic Convergence, Soul of Stone, and the Lore of Light. She also had a Saurus Old Blood with Sword of Anti-Heroes, Enchanted Shield, and the Talisman of Preservation. Her hero choices were a Saurus Scar Veteran who was on a cold one. He had a great weapon, Sacred Steganon Helm of Itza, and a Luckstone. She also had another Saurus Scar Veteran on a cold one who was her BSB with a great weapon and the Armor of Destiny. She had a Skink Priest who was a level 2 wizard with the Dispel Scroll and the Lore of Beasts, and another Skink Priest who was a level 1 wizard with the Cube of Darkness and the Lore of Heavens, and 2 Skink Chiefs. One had the Armor of Fortune, the other had the Obsidian Blade. Her core choices were 4 units of Skink Skirmishers with Javelins and Shields, 2 units of 36 Saurus Warriors, both with Banner Musician, Spears, and Shields. Her special choices were a Bastiladon with the Solar Engine, 6 Cold One Riders with full command, 21 Temple Guard with full command, Banner of Eternal Flame, and 3 Pterodon Riders with Fire Leech Bolas. Her rare choices were a Ancient Stegodon with the Engine of the Gods, and 4 Razordons, because 3 just wasn't enough and 2 was ridiculous. Last but not least is the Punisher's Bretonnian Mega Army list. This I'm not 100% I got right. A lot of it was handwritten, and I was having trouble reading the handwriting. Nothing against the guy. I have terrible handwriting too. It was just my problem, and I'm zooming in, so had a little bit of trouble reading it. So if I missed something or I misspoke somewhere, it's probably my fault, not my opponent's. He had a Lord on a Hippogriff that took the Grail Vow, Sword of Strife, Curious of Fortune, and Virtue of Heroism. And he had a Prophet of a Lady who was a level 4 wizard with, I think, the Lore of Life. I'm half positive on that. His hero choices were a Paladin who was his BSB on a Warhorse with the Shrieking Blade, Enchanted Shield, and the Dawnstone. Then he had another Paladin with the Gold Sigil Sword with the armor of Agaluf, I don't know, and a Virtue of Empathy. Then he had a Damsel of the Lady who was a level 2 wizard on a Warhorse with a Silver Mirror and a Lore of Life. And then another Damsel of the Lady who was a level 2 wizard on a Warhorse with the Dispel Scroll, Lore of Beasts. His core choices were 8 Knights Errant with full command and the Errantry Banner, a unit of 9 Knights of the Realm with full command and the War Banner, 40 Men-at-Arms with full command, 12 Peasant Bowmen with defensive stakes, 10 Knights of the Realm with full command, Banner of Eternal Flame, and another unit of 10 Knights of the Realm with full command. He didn't have any special choices, but he had two rare choices: two field trebuchets. I apologize, and 9 Grail Knights with full command and the standard of discipline. And again, if I misspoke or if something is wrong there or whatever, that's completely on me. Probably not my opponent's fault at all. Here are the rules of engagement for this mega battle. These are the rules that I made up because it's my damn 200th battle report, and there's certain things that I wanted to do, and there's certain things I didn't want to deal with. You know, I had 3 opponents. It's 24,000 points on the table. I was trying to streamline, but at the same time, I wanted it to be fun. So we are using the Kane magic rules. That's the 4d6 plus all that other garbage. The only exception is that disruption still occurs. If you fail to cast a spell, not because you didn't make it, or not because it was dispelled, but because you didn't make the casting value, then that caster's disrupted. That wasn't exactly the intent. We aren't 100% on the Kane magic rules, and so about 4 turns into the game, Death Holy Death in all of his glory came up and asked us why we were doing disruption, and he said there is no disruption anymore with Kane magic, and we were like, oh, well, we've been playing this way the whole time. We're not about to start changing it up now, so that's why there's that exception. We screwed it up a little bit, but we were fine with it. Kane magic was still... It also made it so that we had, you know, good magic phases. I had 3 opponents with 3 different armies. They were using the, what's it called? Desperate Allies rules, because it was 2 good guys and a bad guy, so they had to split up their dice and all that stuff. They couldn't cast augments on each other. However, to circumvent all that, we allowed them to take duplicate magic items between the armies. So like, they didn't have to worry if one person took the Sword of Might, the other guy's army couldn't have it. No, nothing like that. So yes, they do have like 6 dispel scrolls. Yes, as you saw in the army list, they had a lot of advantages in the magic phase that I didn't, because I could not take duplicate magic items. So, you know, we were trying to balance it the best we could. The one major thing is no Reign of Chaos chart at all. It would have taken forever. I hate that frickin' chart so much. I don't like it. And so, yeah, but I told my opponents that well before we set up this game. I said, if anybody brings Chaos, we're not using the Reign of Chaos chart. Everything else flies, that's fine. No Reign of Chaos chart. He was fine with it. He gave me a little trash for it, but it was all good-hearted. So that's pretty much how you'll see some differences. We were toying with doing a scenario, but to be perfectly honest, I'm in charge of 12,000 points of models. I have enough to remember, as opposed to, you know, a bunch of stupid, you know, objectives and things like that that I can barely remember at 2,500 points. So yeah, there it is. Here it is, guys and gals. Here's deployment. And on the left, there's Lust's Fury, and on the right, there's Token Gal. Yes, I have pictures of them in here because it is what it is. It's a huge table. I didn't want them to have to duck every time I had to take these pictures, so they said, screw it, put us in the pictures. So I did. But that's what 24,000 points looks like on the table. And that's 2 tables pushed together. Both are legit regulation size tables. And as you can see, I ran out of room. I was shoulder to shoulder. It doesn't help that I had that huge rock on the right side. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Sometimes things are going to suck. Yeah, there was very little intermingling. It was basically Chaos on the left flank, Lizardmen in the center, and Bretonnians on my right flank. And I would love to say that I had plans and stuff like that, but for the most part, it was going to be push forward, charge, and take the advantages and the opportunities that present themselves, adapt, overcome, and win. That was the hope. Here's my opponent's far right flank, which consists of his Burning Chariot and a unit of Seekers of Slaanesh. And when he moved them forward, he ended up in the water there, took a dangerous terrain check, and one of the ladies died. So first blood goes to them, but it worked out for me. Here's my opponent's mid-right flank, which consists of his cannon, his bloodthirsters with, or bloodletters, I'm sorry, with Skull Taker, Herald of Corn, and I think the One-Eye guy is in there. And behind them is Archeon in his unit of swords of, basically the Chaos Knights that are his special unit. Here's my opponent's right center, which consists of his level 4 Keeper, his Gore Herd, I think there's a character in there, I can't remember. In front of them is his Plague Bears with his Herald of Nurgle installed. As you can see, there's a Bastiladon, a Stegodon, and a unit of Saurus Warriors. And here's the opponent's left center, which consists of his Pterodon riders, a bunch of skinks, some Saurus warriors, cavalry with his her BSB, and Scar veteran installed. There's a Razordon in the middle there, and there's a big unit of Temple Guard with a Slan installed. Here's my opponent's mid-left flank. From left to right, there's a unit of Bretonnian Knights. I have no idea what is what. I just know that they're beautifully painted, so that's good enough. But yes, his Bretonnian Knights are over there on the left side. There's the Men-at-Arms in the middle. There's a Trebuchet behind him. There's a couple of Razordons in there intermingled with some more Skinks right there. And behind them is another unit of Knights. Again, I don't know what flavor, and I apologize. They all look the same to me. And here's my opponent's far left flank, which consists of his Peasant Bowman. Behind him is another Trebuchet, 2 Lances, and again, I have no idea what's in them. Then on our right there is his Pegasus Knights, and again, I don't think they were in the list that I wrote, but that I posted, but I was having trouble. I'm sure they were in the list. I'm sure it's legit. I just missed it. And behind them, behind the Pegasus Knights, is his general. He did not join the unit. Here's my far right flank, which consists of, you can kind of see the scouts in the top right there. Behind them, kind of hidden, is my borrowed Casket of Souls from Lust Fury. Thank you very much, buddy. And to the left there is a unit of 3 Boshati and 4 Carrion. Here's my mid-right flank, which consists of a unit of Skeleton Warriors, what's it called? Oh, I can't remember what it's called. A little thing chariot there. I'll remember it later. I don't care. One of my Bone Giants, a unit of Vargeist. In front of them is another unit of Scouts. There's my Necropolis Knights. There's a Spirit Host. On the left there, you can kind of see another unit of Scouts. So yay. And here's my center. Right to left, Chariots, Hex Race, unit of 3 by Spirit Host. The middle unit of Chariots there is a 7 by. The green one is the Herald. And then, of course, I have the Kitty and my other casket on the left there. And here's my left center, which from right to left consists of my archers with multiple casters installed. I believe my Necro... No, this is my High Lich Priests are in that unit. In front of them are just Skeleton Warriors with Tomb King, Vampire, and Necrotech installed. There's my Titan. There's my unit of 8 Chariots, and behind them is my Vampire Lord on an Abyssal Terror. And here is my mid-left flank, which from right to left is the Morghasts, the Tomb Guard with, I believe Krell is in that unit, a Tomb Prince, and a Necrotech. No, I'm sorry, that's not true. There is a Tomb Prince installed into there and a Necrotech. That's it. In the middle there is Nagash, as you can tell. In front of him is a unit of Skeleton Warriors with Krell and I believe a Necrotech installed, not 100%. Next to him is a huge unit of Ghouls, and behind him is a unit of 3 Chariots. Then on my far left flank, I have a Terrorgeist, another unit of Vargeist, some Hex Rays, some Zombies, some Skeleton Archers, another 2 units of Spirit Host individuals, and a unit of Dire Wolves. And here's my far left flank, which consists of my I have 2 Phalapults over here somewhere. I have a Colossus. I have 2 units of Dire Wolves, both with upgrades. I have a Banshee, which is a little Grim Reaper dude, and another unit of Skeleton Warriors with Hand Weapon Shield full command. Here's top of 1 after movement, and of course, I didn't get to go first. We just straight up rolled off. It was a D6 versus a D6, and they rolled higher than me. Simple as that. But yeah, as you can see, for the most part, they came forward. Her token gals, what are they called? Pterodons. They flew over one of my units of scouts and obliterated them, like just to a man. It was brutal. My opponent, the Punisher, the Bretonnians, his Pegasus Knights tried to charge my scouts and failed, if you can believe it, which really blew my mind. His Bloodletters charged, Lust Fury's Bloodletters charged my scouts and made it, and that was fine. I plan on leading those guys around by the nose all game anyway. Other than that, as you can see, for the most part, they just kind of came forward. They were closing the gap as fast as they could. There's a better picture of the Pterodons destroying my scouts with their little dropping rocks or fire bullet thing, and that was actually very impressive. And there's a better picture of Bretonnians failing a charge into my scouts because reasons. There's a better picture of Bloodletter slamming into the scouts, and yeah, that's fine. During the magic phase, he gets rancid visitations off on a unit of scouts. I believe that's Lust's Fury, and I have no problem with it, so I let it go. And yeah, he obliterates all 5 scouts. And okay, whatever. That's what the scouts are for. Then I believe the Punisher is able to get Flock of Doom off on another unit of scouts, the ones that he failed to charge. And I didn't care. I let that one go too, and he killed 3 of my scouts. So not a good day to be a scout in my army. Not at all. And then, not to be outdone, I believe it was one of the Skink Priests fired an Amber Spear off at another unit of my scouts and took out 2 of them before they failed to wound. So that's actually just kind of funny. During the shooting phase, I'm not exactly sure what shot at them, but the Carrion take a wound and, you know, things happen. And then during the shooting phase, well, one of the Razordons, actually both the Razordons, try to shoot at something and fail because they miscast and eat 2 skink handlers each, which is absolutely hilarious. I guess the Slan don't like to feed the Razordons prior to battle. Then over here, you know, the skinks right there fired at the scouts and took out 2 of them because poison. And then I'm not 100% what did this damage, but something shot at my Terrorgeist and did a wound to him, which is just rude. We go over here into combat, and the Bloodletters obliterate those scouts. And I don't think that was ever in question, to be perfectly honest. They're not frenzied, so they don't have to overrun. So instead, he just kind of cocks them slightly to work that little bottleneck there. But that's fine. I plan on just feeding this guy chaff units for the entire game because there's just too many points of danger into that unit. And the only reason I'm going to go after it is because I just kind of I want to. I got nothing to lose, or it's a guaranteed victory, you know. That's it for top of 1, so we go to bottom of 1 after movement. And as you can see, I'm still playing Tomb Kings, so I don't really move a whole heck of a lot. There's no reason. They're all coming to me as fast as they can, and my strength lies in defense, not really offense. And there's really no weak choices on the table. So for the most part, everything just kind of sits right where it's at. I do charge some skinks with my scouts, and they flee, and of course I run into the forest and roll 2 1s, so 2 of them die due to trees. That's right, even when the Wood Elves aren't on the table, they're doing damage to me. And then I did try to charge his Bloodletters with my Ghouls and my Skeleton Warriors, just kind of a why not type of thing. I was figuring maybe I could do a bunch of damage to them or just outlast them. It probably would have went bad, but both units failed. The Ghouls almost hit them, but they ended up a little bit in the trees, but I'll just chaff them up, so I'm not too worried about it. My Vargeist and my Hexwraiths do charge. It's kind of hard to see on the left side there, but they do charge into his Seekers and make it, and that was just a charge opportunity, to be perfectly honest. I saw the opportunity, and I took it. So, yeah. Yeah, other than that, nothing really moves because there's no point. There's a better picture of my Scouts chasing the fleeing skinks. I don't believe they make it off the table, or maybe they do. I honestly don't remember. There was so much going on. And, of course, the 2 that died to the forest because Wood Elves. And there's a better picture of my 2 failed charges into the Bloodletters. And, you know, that was probably for the best. I was just getting greedy here. And there's a better picture of Vargeist and Hexwraiths making it into the Seekers, which was awesome. During the magic phase, the casket barks, and I think 2 of the Pegasus Knights die. It doesn't hurt the general, and it does 1 wound to that little unit of lance right there. So, very good casket bark, in my opinion. And then during the magic phase, I'm able to get shields up, basically 5-up ward save to this huge chunk of units. As you can see, it's marked by the tokens. Thank you, Token Gal. But yeah, that's just going to be huge, having a 5-up ward save on everybody. It's like I'm demons all of a sudden, so it's kind of nice. And then I use Nagash's ability to put a huge chunk of scouts right in front of the Bloodletter unit just to make sure that they either charge these guys or they stay put for a while. Either is fine. They're worth nothing. And yeah, thanks Nagash and his special ability, I have like 50 scouts back on the table, which is nice. Unfortunately for me, it was a miscast 9. Yeah. If I'm going to get a spell off successfully, I might as well miscast it, right? Sucked a little bit, don't get me wrong, but yeah, miscast 9.
No! You must not read from the book!
My opponent's roll for all my casters in my army, which of course there's a ton, and a vampire in my unit of skeleton warriors takes a wound. My master necromancer takes a wound over here on the left flank. My vampire lord takes a wound because reasons. My level 4 high priest takes a wound, or I'm sorry, and that's it. I was able to either save or dodge the rest of the wounds. Over here, though, I get +1 attack and multiple shots off on the skeleton warriors, which is really nice because I want to be able to shoot more shots at them. However, it's irresistible force yet again, and I miscast 9 again.
No! You must not read from the book!
Sometimes I'm my own worst enemy, you know? So, yeah, my Lich High Priest that didn't cast a spell takes a wound, and that's about it. Everybody else either makes a save or they fail to wound. So, that was something at least, but man, 2 miscasts in 1 magic phase, that hurt. Meanwhile, my opponents aren't miscasting at all because life is fair. Over here in the shooting phase, I'm able to drop 1 knight, which is kind of nice. I think it was just regular chariot shooting and stuff like that. And then with some other shooting, a bunch of skinks died. They have much lower armor save, so it was much easier to kill them. They do pass their panic check, but yeah, that was awesome. Over here in combat, the Seekers do a little bit of damage. They take out 3 of the Hex Race before the Vargeist and the remaining Hex Race can take them out. With combat res and everything like that, they end up right where they're at. The Vargeist are frenzied. They end up firing forward like 5 inches. But the Hex Race are not, so I turn them to face the Burning Chariot because I think a flank charge into the Burning Chariot with these guys would work. Or at least I want my opponent to think that a flank charge from these guys would work. Either way, that's where I ended up. So, with all that said and done, we go over here to top of 2 after movement and look at the concentration on their faces. All of them making their deals with their petty gods. But yeah, what did you think? Their side comes closer to my side. Pretty quick, actually, and there's a bunch of charges. One of the Punisher's lance formations slams into my 1 remaining scout that ended up in the forest after the skinks ran away from him, or the Razordon, something. But yeah, that kind of sucks. But, you know, it's a scout. I'm fine with losing him. And then over here, another lance formation hits another unit of scouts, and that's fine. I'm hoping to get him close enough and isolated enough that I can start dealing with the lance formations 1 at a time and charge them so that they're lower strength. This surprised me a little bit. There was as you can see, kind of over here on the right there, the skinks have charged my unit of Spirit Host. I conga lined them because I was having trouble placing stuff, and they actually charge in there, and I wasn't really sure what Token Gal was doing. I didn't realize that the chief that was in that unit would have a magic weapon, so yeah, that was something else. And then in the middle there, you can see the Stegodon has charged my unit of Skeleton Warriors, which I believe is a mistake, but in fairness, with everything on the table, Token Gal easily could have forgotten that there were a Lord, a Vampire, and a ton of... Well, I mean, the Skeletons alone, I'm sure she wasn't worried about, but the Vampire with a great weapon and my Tomb King are going to come over and do everything they can to kill that thing. So, I'm actually not terribly upset about that. And then, of course, the Bloodletters with no other choice, as you can see on the left flank, did charge the Scouts, so that was kind of cool. That's fine, because I'm just trying to bait them all game. There's a better picture of his Bretonnians. I'm sorry, I forgot his, what's it called? His Pegasus Knights charged flank of my Carrion. I did not see that. Be perfectly honest with you, I never thought they were going to make that charge. I never even realized it was a viable charge, but sure enough, I was in his forward arc, and the Punisher saw it, and he punished me for it. So, very fitting, very fitting. And yeah, he made it into the Carrion, which was not the plan. I'm not happy about that. There's a better picture of that lance formation slamming into my scout in the forest, and I think 1 maybe no he didn't fail any of his dangerous terrain checks, so he was good there. And there's better pictures of the other lance formation slamming into my other scouts because they have to die, I guess. I don't know. There's a better picture of the skinks slamming into the Spirit Host, which really surprised me. And there's Token Gal's Stegodon slamming into my Skeleton Warriors, and I think I've got the Stegodon. I think she threw it away here. And there's a better picture of me baiting the Bloodletters because, yeah, with Skulltaker, One Eye, a Herald, and a bunch of Bloodletters, I don't want to see combat with that unit. Anything that touches it is going to get Blenderized, so I'm going to feed it crap for the rest of the game, and if he makes, 200 points off of me, so be it. During the magic phase, he gets Pan's Impenetrable Pelt off on his level 4, which I didn't care about. If I'm going to hurt this thing, it's going to be with the casket or with, some sort of leadership check, not with, strength wounds or anything like that. So I didn't even try to stop that one, and now I think he's like strength or toughness 10 for a turn, which is fine. And during the magic phase, he gets Flock of Doom off on one of my Spirit Hosts. Again, I let it go because I just didn't care. And he does 2 wounds to the Spirit Host, which kind of surprised me. I shouldn't have, but it did. During the magic phase over here, Laura Life with regrowth and everything like that, he's able to resurrect 2 Pegasus Knights, which really sucks. And then during the shooting phase, his Trebuchet, the Punisher's Trebuchets fire. One, of course, direct hits onto my corpse cart. I remembered! And killed it. Just pulverized this thing. He hits, he wounds, and he did like 16,000 wounds to it. It was unbelievable. I looked over at my catapults who have done nothing the entire game, who have done nothing their entire existence, and screamed at them to pay attention. But I'm pretty sure they had their heads so far up their butts that they didn't even hear me. So, awesome. And then over here on the other trebuchet fires and direct hits on my snakes, killing one and putting 2 wounds on the others. So that is just... I wish I had catapults that worked half as well. During the shooting phase, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but something shoots at the Terrorgeist and does 3 more wounds to it, so it's on its way out, which kind of sucks. And then his Burning Chariot goes ahead and tries to fire at something and ends up misfiring, and that was pretty cool. Ends up just doing a wound to the Burning Chariot, but you know what, with all the good luck that's happening on my opponent's side, it's nice to see a little bit of bad luck hit him too, so I'm kind of happy that something at least isn't going their way. With all that fun said and done, we go over here into combat, and I know you can't believe it, but the Bloodletters with 2 special characters and a Herald were easily able to dispatch the unit of scouts that I put in front of him, and his overrun was immediately like 2 or 3 inches. He was trying to hit the Vargeist, and he didn't make it. Over here, this is where I was really shocked. My Spirit Host attacked the Skinks. I'm able to kill, I think, 2 of them. But the Skinks are able to do, or this Chief, anyway, I'm sorry, is able to do some wounds because he has the Obsidian Blade. Yeah. Yeah, my jaw hit the floor. I was like, who puts a magic weapon on a Chief? That's genius, because I didn't see it coming. So, yeah, the Spirit Hosts are in a little bit of damage, or a little bit of trouble here, but I'm pretty sure that they've got this. I do try to reform after this, and I fail my leadership check, so they stay right where they're at. Then over here, the Stegodon does a little bit of damage. I end up losing 5, I think. 5 of my, what's it called? Oh, what is it called? 5 of my guys. I can't remember exactly. Skeleton Wars. There we go. Duh. Sorry, words are hard. And my Tomb King, she puts all of her attacks into Tomb King and ends up doing a wound to him as well. However, my counter attacks kill the Stegodon all day, every day, no problem. So that was kind of nice. One less thing to worry about, and the Engine of the Gods is gone. So very, very happy with that. And I think it was a fair trade. Then over here, the Carrion never had a chance. They don't even get to attack. They just get obliterated, and that sucks. The overrun puts them in great position to charge the rest of my back flank, and that Pegasus Knight unit is really a thorn in my side right now. I need to deal with them soon. Then over here, yeah, the Lance Formation doesn't even slow down as it pulverizes the 1 remaining scout in the forest. Overruns through the forest, doesn't fail any dangerous terrain checks because life has its reasons, and it is what it is. And there's been a picture of the other Lance unit finishing off their scouts and overrunning and almost making it into my Hex Rays. So that was good. That was good. I'm glad he failed that charge. So that's it for top of 2. So here we go into bottom of 2 after movement. And I have moved a little bit. I have come forward. I made a bunch of charges. And I failed a bunch of charges as well because, well, that's just how I roll. But for the most part, I'm happy with how it's going. And let me show you. Over there on the left flank, as you can see, the Hex Race did as they threatened to do and charged into the flank of the Burning Chariot. So I'm pretty happy about that. A little bit closer into the left flank, you can kind of see it. The Vargeist have slammed into the flank of the Skull Cannon, and that's just to stop that thing from attacking. Because the Skull Cannon is what shot and hurt my Terrorgeist last turn. Sorry, I couldn't remember. It's a lot to remember, so I'm trying here. And then kind of in the left middle there, I believe my opponent brought his Plague Bears too close, so I charged with everything. Because they're Plague Bears, and if I could kill them, that would be great. Not to mention the overruns would be just fantastic. So I charged with the Tomb Guard, the Vampire Lord, and the Chariots, and if you can believe it, they all made it. I fully expected one of the units to fail the charge, but no, they all made it, and that was outstanding. So yeah, that in the left center there, if you see that big pile up, that's what that is. That's the Tomb Guard, the Vampire Lord on an Abyssal Terror, and the Chariots, a big 8x brick slamming into the Plague Bearers, and I'm really looking forward to that. And then on the right side there, my other big brick of Chariots slam into the Skinks with the hope of decimating the Skinks, saving the Spirit Host, and then overrunning into the Razordons, and then future, damage, panic checks, all that good stuff, maybe even getting them into the Temple Guard, and just, 46 strength 5 hits, if I have that many left at the time, would be just a great way to start that fight. Hex Race also go in just to ensure the Skink's demise, so that they can also overrun into the Lance formation and finish them off, or at least not finish them off, but get into combat with them and hopefully kill them off, because it's 5 strength 5 no armor save hits. It's hope. And then again, if you look just a little bit to the right of that last charge I was describing, you can see my Snakes and a Spirit Host have made it into the Men-at-Arms, and honestly, that's just to get that big brick out of my way. I'm pretty sure I can take a bunch of Men-at-Arms. Also, my VAR guys, they fail a Frenzy check and go into a Lance, which I'm fine with. I just want them to go in there anyway. And then on the far right side there, a Colossus, Necrolith Colossus, a Bone Giant, and some Boshati slam into the, what's it called? Pegasus Knights, because I need to deal with them before they deal with me. There's a better picture of the Hex Race slamming into the Burning Chariot, which is awesome. And there's a better picture of the Vargai slamming into the Skull Cannon, which is also awesome. There's a closer picture of all that stuff slamming into the Plague Bearers, which is very exciting. And of course, there's the failed charge, My Skeleton Warriors tried to charge into his, what's it called? SARS Cold One Riders or whatever, and failed, and the Kitty tried to charge a Razordon and failed. So, oh well, you can't win them all. And then, of course, there's another picture of the Chariots and the Hex Race slamming into the Skinks, and that's just to hopefully just destroy that unit, overrun, and life is good. And there's been a picture of the Snakes and the Spirit Host slamming into the Men-at-Arms, and I'm hoping that that's going to be a short fight, because it would just be nice to solidify those points. There is a character in that unit. There's been a picture of the Frenzied Vargai slamming into the unit of Lance, just because they need to eat. And there's been a picture of the Bone Giant and the Boshati slamming into the Pegasus Knights, and I'm really looking forward to Unstoppable Force here, or Unstoppable Assault. That might be a lot of fun. During the magic phase, the Casket speaks and does 1 wound to his Keeper of Secrets, Lust's Fury over there. Not exactly as great as I would have hoped it was going to be. It does bounce a little bit, but he starts rolling 1s and 2s because life is fair. Also, during the shooting phase, I take some random pot shots at the Bloodletters and take out 2 of them, which is kind of funny. And then over here, the Banshee, the little Banshee guy right there, he screams at the Burning Chariot and is able to kill it. Before combat or anything else, I just rolled it out of the park, and yeah, he didn't make any ward saves. So the Burning Chariot's dead before we even see combat, which is probably good for the Hex Race, I gotta be honest. Then over here, my Stalkers did come in on the table. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that during the whole movement thing, but it's kind of a lot to remember. They fire, like, I can't even remember how many, 24 shots or something like that into the Punisher's level 4. And I end up doing like 6 or 8 wounds to this friggin' character. No armor saves, right? She's got some magic res, so she's got like a 5-up ward with the Lady Protects and everything like that. And yeah, she makes all but 1 ward save. I couldn't believe it. None of us could believe it. I was so just distraught about that, because his level 4 Laura Lifecaster had been a real pain in the ass. I put my Stalkers in a real compromising position to try to take her out. 24 wounds. The Stalkers did like 5 to 6 wounds, like a ton of wounds to this friggin' character. And with Magic Res 1 and the 6-up ward that she gets, because he took the special character where everybody gets the ward save, yeah, she's still alive. She should be dead. She should be dead. And yeah, could not believe how unlucky I was, and how lucky the Punisher was. The Lady Protects, right? Yeah, that's why I hate that bitch so much. Then over here, it gets worse. Nothing else happens in the shooting phase. We go into combat, and it's unbelievable how many wounds that the ward save Pegasus Knights made. They had a 5-up ward save against the Bone Colossus and made all of them. I didn't get any unstoppable force or assault attacks because he made all of his 5-up ward saves. The Boshati didn't get any wounds past the armor, and then of course they took a wound, and the Bone Giant took a wound, so charge and a flank to 2 wounds and a banner. I lose by 1. They're both arcane constructs, so nobody cares, but unbelievable. I hate the lady so much. I'm glad she's dead. In the fluff, she's dead. The hell with all you Bretonnian players. She's dead. So there, get your ward save now, jerk lady. Over here, this went well. The Vargeist actually were able to kill 3 of the Lance guys, and that was kind of nice. I take 1 wound for my trouble, and then they break, and I run them down because I'm not letting them get away. And that's awesome. The Vargeist really did well for me. Took an entire Lance out in 1 round of combat, and I'm proud of him. The lady finally failed to protect, and I'm happy about that. Then over here, yeah. Over here, the snakes have shown me they want to stay on the mother effing shelf of shame. Even the spirit host did more wounds than the useless effing snakes did. Just crap. Just absolute crap. The ward save from the Lady Protects because of that special character saved a bunch of the men-at-arms, and then when they counterattacked, he did so many wounds, and I made like no saves. 3-up armor, my left testicle. It's just... So yeah, I lose combat, and that's how the Spirit Host took some wounds. Useless, stupid snakes. Over here, though, it went a little bit better. Believe it or not, I was able to destroy that unit of skinks, including the irritating chief. The rest of the army overruns, and the Hex Race make it into the Lance formation, which is good. The Chariots somehow fail their overrun into the Razordon. Granted, I needed like an 8 or a 9. I rolled like a 7, so that sucked. But the Spirit Hosts make it into the next unit of Skinks, which is kind of nice because they've already proven themselves against the first unit. So, all in all, I'm not going to complain about that one. And then over here, this was outstanding. Not only do I obliterate every single one of the, what's it called? Plague Bearers, but he gets so few attacks back that I don't take any real damage. I think I lost a Tomb Guard, and I did 1 wound to, or he did 1 wound to a Chariot. That's it. That unit exploded, and my overruns were nothing less than 10. The Chariots make it into the Sars Warriors and take a wound for dangerous terrain. I know it's D6. I rolled a 1, so I got lucky. My Vampire Lord on an Abyssal Terror makes it into the Gore Herd or whatever, and that's outstanding. And then the Tomb Guard make it into the Keeper, and I'm just hoping Static Combat Res is enough to push me through and destroy a level 4 Greater Demon. That would be outstanding. Over here, not great. Charge and a wound to a wound. Charge wound flank to wound. I win by 1, and that's it. It's not good. It's not good at all. But at least it's not shooting anymore, I guess. So that's something. But that's it for bottom of 2. So we go over here to top of 3 after movement, and they just come at me, and it's bad. On the right flank there with the Pegasus Knights, his lance formation slams into the flank of my Ubshati. That unit shouldn't have been there. He made so many ward saves, it actually broke my heart a little bit. So yeah, it is what it is. His general on a hippogriff or whatever slams into my casket in the back right there, and that's unfortunate. We all know. I'm hoping that the explosion takes out his general, but the way he's making his armor and ward saves, I'll be lucky to do a wound. Over here, the useless, stupid, incompetent snakes get charged by a lance in a flank because they couldn't take out a bunch of friggin' men-at-arms. It makes me sick. And then, of course, the Stars Cavalry take advantage of the failed overrun and slam headlong into my Chariots, which is just outstanding. And just to get them out of the way, the Razordons slam into the Skeleton Warriors so that the Stars Cav could charge into my Chariots, and yeah. Over here, Archeon and his Swords of Chaos slam into the Skeleton Warriors on the left flank there, if you can see. And then on the far left flank there, his Bloodletters are going after more chaff because that's all I'm going to give that unit, hell or high water. Other than that, the rest of his stuff just the rest of their stuff, I should say, just kind of postures and gets ready for charging and counter-charging. It's too much to actually go over. There's a better picture of his lance slamming into my Ubshati, who shouldn't be there. They should have blown through this damn unit. Ward saves. Ugh! And there's a better picture of his general slamming into my casket, and that's unfortunate. I do have another casket on the table, but I hate it when I lose a casket, you know? There's a better picture of his lance doing me a favor and taking out those useless effing snakes. And there's a better picture of his her SARS cav and her old blood. I'm sorry, it was hard to see in the big picture. Her old blood slams into the chariots as well, so they're done. It's unfortunate. Chariots are really useless unless they're charging. There's a better picture of the Razordons sacrificing themselves by going into the Skeleton Warrior so that the cold one cav and the old one could charge into my chariots, which was smart. It's something I would have done too, and you know, maybe if I had been smart enough to think of it. And there's been a picture of Archeon and the Swords of Chaos slamming into my Skeleton Warriors. And I do have Krell in that unit. There's Krell right there. So I'm not exactly sure how to use him, but I really, really hope that he can take out some of these guys before it's too late. And there's a better picture of the Bloodletters eating some bait. During the magic phase, the level 4 caster that should be dead does Awakening of the Wood with Throne of Vines on my stalkers and kills all of them. So yeah, she should not be there. The only reason she's there is because the lady is a pain in the ass, and yeah. She took out my stalkers, and it is what it is. Nothing else really happens in a magic phase, so we go into shooting phase, and the Razordon takes a pot shot at my, Scorpion, and does a wound, which is expected. And then he's got a Paladin on a Pegasus with the Worm Lance or something like that, and fires it off at my Skeleton Warriors that are just sitting there not hurting anybody. And, of course, it's devastating. It's unbelievably devastating. And as you can see, more than half the unit dies because life is fair. Dice have taken a math class, apparently. During the shooting phase, his Trebuchet tries to kill the kitty, and it deviates like 8 inches, 6-8 inches, something like that, off the kitty to direct hit center mass on my mother effing chariots. Even when his trebuchets miss, they direct hit. While my skull catapults can't even find the effing table sometimes. What the... Screw war machines. That's it. I don't work well with them. I don't like them. I could take 6 of these pieces of garbage. Mine haven't done anything all game. My opponent's trebuchet is not only hitting, it's hitting, direct hitting when it misses! What the actual F? So, yeah, direct hits on the chariots, kills one, puts 2 wounds on the others because I make, you know, some lucky saves. That's, well, I don't even think I make any saves. I think he just kind of rolls low. But still, what the hell? Then the other trebuchet, thank the dark gods, misfires 4, so it can't shoot this turn or next, but I'm hoping to have my Scorpion into it before the end of my next turn. So that's something at least. Holy God. With all the shooting, you know, miracles over, we go over here into combat, and his general has no problem dispatching my borrowed Casket of Souls, which sucks because I roll to try to hurt him with the explosion because the general's the only one that's within 12 inches of this particular casket, and I roll a 1, so he doesn't even take any damage for his trouble. It just blows up. You're like boop, and that's it. It's sad. Then over here, the Bloodletters have absolutely no problem destroying the Warhounds, and that's perfectly fine. They do overrun into the Spirit Host, and as you can see, there's another one right behind that one. So, yeah, have fun chasing your tail. Eat those points all day, brother. I don't even care. That unit scares the crap out of me. Then over here, yeah, these guys have no problem taking out my Colossus and my Ubshati with combat res and damage. It's just absolutely frustrating. I did actually get to attack a little bit, and he made all... I killed 1 Pegasus Knight. I was able to kill 1 Pegasus Knight. Other than that, though, he made all of his ward and armor saves. And yeah, combat res finished off what was left of the poor units. the lady, the bone giant and the Boshati did well in combat, and my opponent just rolled his save spectacularly, and it was a little frustrating, but can't fault the guy for rolling well. I want to, but it is what it is. What can you do? Then over here, there's another skink chief in here. He's got like the Tormentor sword or something like that, and the what's it called? The Spirit Hosts don't do terrible, though. As you can see, a bunch of the skinks die. There's 3 skinks left and a chief. I don't take any damage. I win this combat by a lot, but she rolls insane courage. That cold-blooded. It's a son of a bitch. But, the skinks don't go anywhere, which is probably for the best, but I would have preferred them to be dead. I need points at this point. And then over here, dear God, the Old Blood and the Sars Cav obliterate all those chariots. I don't do anything in return. Not one wound. Broke every part of my heart. Oh well, it was fun. It was neat to see the big old unit on the table. Then over here, useless, stupid snakes. I don't even think they do any damage. I think maybe I kill one knight. That's it. And everything else dies. It's just the hell with those things. There's a reason that they adorn my shelf and not the table. Then over here, the Hex Race kill like 1 or 2 of these guys. I think 2 of the lances. Obviously, the lance doesn't do anything back. Charge 2 wounds to rank in a banner. They only lose by 1. They're steadfast, and because I think it's just, they have 2 ranks, and I only have 1, and they make their break check no problem. But it's going the right direction. Ranks are dying, and I feel pretty good about that. Then over here, the Razordons put a wound on my Necrotech and do a little bit of, I don't think they do any damage to the unit, actually, and my counterattacks obliterate both of them, and they die, so that's nice, Then over here, not great, I do a lot of damage in impact hits. I take out, I think, 10 of the Saurus Warriors, and I don't do anything in combat. With all those attacks, I don't really do anything. She makes a lot of her armor saves, so it's only -1, and I don't do a whole lot. I lose a chariot, and I take a wound or something for my trouble. In the end, though, I win this combat by a lot, but she's steadfast and makes her break check. Really didn't think this one through, but oh well. It's hurt the unit a little bit, but I'm probably going to lose my chariots now. And I'm starting to learn through bleeding through my ears that, chariots on the charge are pretty cool, but against rank and file that can handle it. Once they weather it, they're pretty screwed. So yeah. I was toying with the idea of maybe even taking units of 8 in my normal 2,500 point army, but this is starting to show me real quick that, you know what, units of 3 are just fine. And then over here, my Var guys they go Super Saiyan. Their power level goes over 9,000. 9,000! And they destroy this cannon, and that's outstanding. Usually, they just kind of cork the thing for a while before they die. In this situation, though, no, they obliterate the cannon, and that was nice. That was nice. Speaking of being obliterated, holy God! Krell ends up in a challenge with one of the swords of chaos, and he weathers the attacks and kills it. But holy God! After combat res and everything like that, that's all that's left. He destroyed that unit, gutted that unit. Could not believe the amount of damage that the swords of chaos did. And Archeon into that unit. Blew every part of my mind. But there's still 5 skeleton warriors left in Krell. Yay! So, yeah, wow. Just wow. And then over here, more wow. I got the Keeper. Oh, it was outstanding. The Keeper flubbed. I was able to make a couple of parry saves because I do sword and board. And then I was able to put like 2 or 3 wounds on the Keeper. I think 3 wounds went through on the Keeper. And with combat res, because I charged and everything like that, the Keeper dies. And that's outstanding because I hate Keepers almost as much as I hate elves. after seeing what the swords did to my skeleton warriors and stuff, and the small opportunity to bail them out, I reformed the Tomb Guard, as you see here, to charge into the flank of the swords. I'm really hoping on Killing Blow and Hatred and everything like that to get me through that and destroy that unit. So yeah, maybe even get Archeon in the deal, because I don't believe he's stubborn, and if he is, there's always a chance. Then over here, yeah, my Vampire Lord has no problem with the Abyssal Terror. I think he hews down 8 of the Gore Herd or something like that. I'm not 100% on exactly how many it is. I don't believe I take any wounds in return. They lose this combat. They're steadfast, but they break. Things are going well on the left flank, I gotta be honest. Yeah, they break and I run them down. And now my Vampire Lord is looking around for more love in all the wrong places. So we go over here to bottom of 3 after movement, and trying to ride the wave of win, I start making some charges. My Tomb Guard slam into the swords, as you can see there on the left side. I also move my Terrorgeist over to scream at the swords. The Terrorgeist, I think, is wounded pretty good, so it's going to have to be one hell of a roll. But other than that, yeah, the Tomb Guard slam in there, and I'm really looking for Killing Blow here to just obliterate that unit and just combat res Archeon to death, and maybe run him down. That'd be great. Then over here, I just cash in my chips. We go all in. The Titan charges the Pterodons and make it. The Skeleton Warriors charge the Sars Cav and make it. Kitty charges the old one, the Sars Old Blood or whatever, and makes it. And it's just no mercy, no prisoners. We're Spartacusing this thing. It's over 300. This is Sparta. Everyone dies. Even the chariots get a little froggy. My unit chariots slam into the lance. That was actually a long charge. I was really hoping the Skeleton Warriors with the Karn Wraith was going to make it into the lance there, and they failed their charge. So the chariots make it. The Skeleton Warriors that got Worm Lance to death didn't, which is unfortunate. But yeah, they're probably dead. But it is what it is. And then, of course, a Tomb Scorpion in the back right there makes it into the one Trebuchet, and 2 of the other ones make it into the other Trebuchet, which is good because those things have been the bane of my army's existence since turn 1. So, yeah, other than that, I just, again, posture and get ready for charges and counter charges. There's really nothing worth mentioning. Other than, of course, I throw more chaff in the way of that huge unit of Bloodletters on the left side there because I don't want them to run into anything meaty. There's a better picture of my Tomb Guard slamming into the Swords of Chaos, and that's awesome. And there's a better picture of everything slamming into everything Lizardmen. The Kitty into the Old Blood, the Skeleton Warriors into the Sars Cav, and the Titan into the Pterodons, because I was just tired of the Pterodons running amok. There's a better picture of the Chariots slamming into the Lance, and the Skeleton Warriors failing a charge, because life isn't always fair. And there's a better picture of this Tomb Scorpion slamming into one Trebuchet, and the other Tomb Scorpion slamming into the other Trebuchet. During the magic phase, I get Hellish Vigor off onto Tomb Guard, which is exciting as hell, because now that means more 6s for Killing Blow into the Swords of Chaos. I need that unit dead. Did you see what it did to the Skeleton Warriors? Imagine what it would do to everything else. That unit needs to die. With nothing else in the magic phase, we go into combat, and as you can see, the Bloodletters have no problem obliterating a Spirit Host, which I'm fine with. They then overrun into the other Spirit Host, and that's perfectly fine. They are going further and further away from the main combat, and that is exactly what the plan is. Awesome. Over here in combat, yeah, the Tomb Guard do not disappoint. I also get the Killing Blow, so they're doing Killing Blows on 5s during the magic phase. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. But yeah, as you can see, not only did the Tomb Guard finish off the what's it called, the Swords of Chaos, they are right up against Archeon now. And the Skeleton Warrior, I have one Skeleton Warrior and Krell left alive. So yeah, Krell I believe is in a challenge with Archeon right now. But yeah, I think Archeon's stubborn or something like that and makes his break check no problem. But I win this combat by 3 boatloads and a truckload. It was very nice. Then over here, holy god, I kill like 2 Sars Warriors, and after combat res and everything like that, I have 2 Chariots left. That unit's screwed, but you know what? They're holding them off. They did cut him down to about half strength. I guess it's not all bad, but it's far from good. And yeah. Chariots on their own. Lesson learned. Got it. Over here, the Titan flubs pretty good against the Pterodons, and they actually do a wound to the Titan. Charge to a wound. It's tied, and we just kind of stand there and look at each other, but that was unexpected, I gotta be honest. And then in combat over here, it's just all I can do. I don't really have any success. My vampire gets pulped before it can even attack. The skeleton warriors, I lose about 6 of them. Or I lose 4 skeleton warriors, I lose my Necrotech, and I lose my vampire. I do attack the best I can. I leave my Tomb King out of combat, and yeah, I probably should have put him in there. I do kill 2 of the SARS Cav, but I lose a lot more, and after combat res and everything like that. Excuse me, that's what it looks like. Not great, but it's a start. It's a start, so I'm trying. I'm trying over here, but losing 2 characters really hurt. And then over here, I was really hoping that Killing Blow was going to do the trick, but it didn't. Charge and a wound. The Old Blood was able to do a wound to the kitty. I win by 1, and he makes his break check no problem. Cold-blooded, right? Over here, Flub. I kill 1 or 2 skinks, and that's it. They make their break check no problem. I was kind of hoping to finish them off, but yeah. I don't take any wounds. I win this combat, but they make their break check no problem. And then over here, not the time to flub, guys. Not the time to flub at all. I fail to wound. He doesn't even make any ward saves. I just fail. Nothing. So with rank and a banner, he wins by 2, and 2 hex rays go back into the void because, yeah, my dice suck. Then over here, yeah. I really should have thought about that one a lot more, I guess. But I didn't because I'm stupid. And yeah. I don't do anything. In fact, I think that unit becomes bolstered. The chariots, yeah, not thrilled with that outcome at all. So in the end, I have 1 chariot left, which is good. It slows down his movement phase a little bit, but they're screwed, and we know it. Over here, I forgot to mention this. Archaon did charge, or I'm sorry, Archon the Black did charge the Pegasus Knights. I kill 1, they do nothing in return, they lose, they make their break check, and then they turn to face Archon. So, what can you do? You know, at least he's winning a little bit, but he's about to maybe, no, I guess he can't catch that lance in the flank because the big mountain thing is impassable terrain. So, he might get him. We'll see. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. They break. That's right. They do break, and I try to run them down, and I fail to catch them. So that sucked. But at least they broke, so I'm almost got the Pegasus Knights now. I feel pretty good about that. And then over here, the Tomb Scorpion is able to finish off the Trebuchet crew, which is awesome. The resulting unit destroyed within 6 causes his archer unit to flee, which is also awesome. I feel pretty good about that. And then the other 2 Scorpions are able to finish off the other Trebuchet. So at least I don't have falling rocks to worry about anymore. With all that said and done, we go over here to top of 4 after movement. And yeah, they're not letting up on me at all. Kind of in the middle right there, you can see that lance formation slamming into my hex race that flubbed last turn, and that really sucks. Then, of course, his men-at-arms in the top right there, they slam into my Vargheists, and that bitch that was saved by the lady that should be dead 3 times over charges into the Vargheists at the same time just for combat res, and I'm really hoping the Vargheists do well against the men-at-arms here, but I'm not holding my breath. I think they're done. A little bit over to the right there in the back, my far right, that Paladin with the Worm Lance and his other Lance slam into the Skeleton Warriors, and that's fine. They're dead and they're useless, and I don't even care anymore. But other than that, there's just some more posturing and some more moving around. So really not a whole lot. We're really deep in combat right now, so the movement phase is getting a lot quicker. There's a better picture of that lance formation, finishing off the failures that is the hex race over here. That's what they get for flubbing. They could have been somebody. And there's a better picture of his men-at-arms and his lady slamming into my Vargheists. And I'm really hoping for combat res against the men-at-arms, but the way he's been rolling his ward saves, I'm not holding my breath. There's a better picture of some more of the Punisher's guys slamming into the Skeleton Warriors and the Karn Wraith. They're just cleaning up the right flank now, and there's nothing I can do about that. During his magic phase, their magic phase, Archon in a panic gets Cascading Fire Cloak off, and I really didn't care. I was perfectly fine with it. And then nothing I could do about it. I tried to stop it, but it's the Kane magic phase. He got like 5 dice at it. I got like 2, and I wasn't able to stop it. he gets the big regrowth off on the Pegasus Knights. That also rallied, and yeah, now they're back up to full strength. They don't have a banner because, the banner doesn't come back, but that really, really sucks. And so we go in, or I'm sorry, at the end of the magic phase, we do the burning cascading fire cloak, and it's super effective. The skeleton warrior dies, and I think I lose like 4 or 5 tomb guards. So yeah, maybe I should let that one go off. During the shooting phase, one of the remaining Razordons fire and just obliterate a tomb scorpion. It was really unexpected. And then we go into combat, and yeah, go figure. Bloodletters finished off a spirit host. I couldn't care less. Over here in combat, Krell is in a challenge with Archeon, who fails to kill Krell, which is nice. There is 3 wounds on him, but he's still alive. I don't do anything back to him. However, he only did 2 wounds to my flank, banner, 3 ranks. He loses combat by enough. And even though he's stubborn, he doesn't have a BSB. He flees. Krell catches him. Awesome. Awesome. I killed Archon. That's right. End time's over. Everyone can relax. I took care of the Everchosen. And no, we don't take prisoners. He's dead. He didn't get away. His stupid little horse died. They're all dead. That's right. The swords are gone. Archon is gone. You're welcome, world. You're welcome. But over here in combat, yeah, the chariots get obliterated by the Sars Warriors, and they don't do anything back to the Sars Warriors. They make their armor and saves, and yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. The unit is at half strength, but it's still there, while my unit is at 0 strength and is not there. So, life, she isn't always fair. Then over here, yeah, I don't do anything except for pick up models because, yeah, it's Skeleton Warriors against a lance of 1-up ward saves and stuff. Okay, 1-up armor, 1-up ward, it didn't matter. I wasn't going to do anything to those guys. The overrun puts them pretty much where you're seeing right now. The Paladin turns to face the what's it called? Archon the Black, and the lance overruns and makes it to about there. And then over here, yeah, the chariots charge into this unit was a really stupid idea. And I paid for it with the unit. They finish them off without taking any damage. Yeah, I like to give my friends points because I'm a hell of a guy. Then over here, the Varghese flub spectacularly. Between him making his ward saves and everything like that, just nothing. Nothing happens to him, and they obliterate the Varghese with combat res and everything, so... the resulting overrun and reform show the men-at-arms like that, and his level 4 is able to go over there like that. I know we did this wrong. We were still under the belief that when you overrun and stuff like that, you ignore the intervening units in combat. That's wrong. That's only the fleers. So yeah, I know we did this wrong, but that's where it ended up. So I'm just reporting it honest. That's all. Then over here, yeah, the Hex Race get obliterated, and I'm actually kind of okay with that because they failed me against that unit of Lance by flubbing. I wasn't looking forward to them actually destroying the unit, but I was looking for 1 or 2 wounds a turn, and they flubbed, so the hell with them. I'm glad they're dead. Then over here, I'm able to get it down to the Skink War Chief. I killed the unit, but I have the Skink Chief left. He does not have a magic weapon, by the way. I'm just failing to wound him because he's making more saves than he probably should. But I kind of spread the unit out a little bit just to kind of cause a bit of a traffic jam, and that's it. Over here, once again, my Titan flubs. They flub back. They're not able to hurt me, but we stand there, and it's a tied combat. I gotta quit flubbing. I know I only got 3 attacks, but, I need 4s and 2s. Come on, man. I should be doing 1 wound a round, and I'm not doing anything, and it's really frustrating. Over here, however, the Skeleton Warriors, even though they're not hatred anymore, even though they don't really have anything anymore, my Tomb King does end up in a challenge with one of his Scarvets, and kills it, which is nice, because he's got +2 attacks, +2 strength at the time. And the Skeleton Warriors actually are able to get a bunch of wounds through on the SARS Cav, and they're down to a BSB and 3 guys, which is awesome. They lose this combat, and I run them down. That's right, ran them down like the sheep they are, which is awesome. That unit being destroyed is a ton of points, and when I overrun, I slam into the Pterodons, which the Titan is just all tangled up in. And yeah, that was outstanding. There is no panic checks because they're cold-blooded. Well, I mean, there are, but he doesn't fail any. And yeah, but bottom line is, I'm in combat with the Pterodons. The Cav are gone. I'm in a good position to save the Titan now, which is getting his butt kicked. I feel good about that. I feel real good about that. I'm happy it happened. And if you can believe it, that was their turn. So here's bottom of 4 after movement. So I have some time. And I do. I try to get Nagash into the combat, and the Saurus warriors flee. And they flee really well. I tried to redirect into the Bastillodon, and I rolled a 10. Or I'm sorry, I rolled an 11 or a 12 or something like that. So I said, screw it. I'm going after the Saurus warriors. And they got away. I didn't roll very well, so what can you do? Then over in the middle there, my Vampire Lord sees the opportunity and charges. I thought about charging the Saurus warriors, you know, just to make them flee some more, but I didn't want to take the chance of not making my my leadership. I know it's a 10, but I already failed Nagash's, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to charge in the Temple Guard with my Vampire Lord of blundery goodness and take out the Temple Guard and Slan and try to just, you know, finish him off as quick as possible. So I did. I sent the Vampire Lord into the Temple Guard, and he made it. You can kind of see it in the middle there. And then on the right side there, you can see Archon the Black slams into the Men-at-Arms because, you know, it's a matter of principle. I want them dead. I want them dead. I need the points. I don't think the character's in there anymore. I think I killed the character, but I need them dead. I need them dead so bad, more than anything. I got to get rid of that unit. And then I'm going to send Archon after that little level 4 that should have been dead turns ago and see if her ward save holds out. Then over here, the Tomb Scorpion charges the rallied unit of archers, just because, you know, they're easy points. And then over towards the right there, I just kind of position what's it called? I'm sorry, it's not the right. The left. I'm an idiot. The left side there, the Terror Geist, he tries to move around a little bit in order to just do some damage. You know, I need him to start screaming and stuff like that. And I want him near Archons, or I'm sorry, Nagash, so that if he gets any spells off, he can actually, you know, scream and do some damage. Also on the left side there, my Tomb Guard and my ghouls and everything start chasing after the Bloodletters, because that's really the only demon threat left on the left side. So the left flank's actually going pretty well. I've still got the Bloodletters pretty chaffed up. It's just I need to finish them off before they can get into anything meaty, because they are getting close to War Machine Hill over there. There's a better picture of Nagash chasing off the Saurus warriors. It's unfortunate I couldn't run into the Bastillodon, but I'll take what I get. And there's a better picture of the Vampire Lord slamming into the Temple Guard, which is also awesome because their days are numbered now. There's a better picture of Archon the Black slamming into the Men-at-Arms, and I'm really hoping he can finish those guys off. And there's a better picture of my Tomb Scorpion slamming into the rallied archers, because they're just points. During the magic phase, my remaining casket targets the Bretonnians, takes out that pain-in-the-ass paladin with the worm lance, and 3 of whatever the hell those knights of the... I think they're knights of the realm. Really, really awesome. Love the casket so much. And the fact that a bunch of them are dead now is huge. And then I'm able to get Curse of Years off on the Bloodletters, which will help. I know they've got magic res because of Skull Taker or One Eye or something like that. I know they have a 5-up ward. I get all that, but any damage I can do to this unit, because I am going to have to deal with it, it looks like now, is going to help in that cause. It was Irresistible Force. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not true. It was not Irresistible Force. This is my catapult. This is my useless mother effing catapult. I fire it at the Bloodletters. It deviates 8 inches and hits my skeleton archers. Yeah. And it's a devastating wound thing, too. I end up doing 2, 4, 6, 7 wounds to my skeleton archers using my own stupid piece of shit catapult motherfucker. I hate those things. Can you believe it? The trebuchets are hitting even when they're missing. Even when they're missing. My useless catapults have not hit anything all game except for me. I hate that friggin' thing so much. And then the other one, yeah, it does. It hits right there, but he doesn't do anything. I fail to wound anything. It's not even worth taking. I hate the catapults. I hate them. Oh, then over here I flub a little bit. We are able to take out most of the pterodons and stuff, but there is one left. Not the wipeout I was hoping for, but I'll take what I can get. They do break, which is awesome, and I overrun, and my Skeleton Warriors slam into the Temple Guard that the Vampire Lord's already in. So that is just friggin' outstanding. The Titan overruns as well, ends up just stopping. I was just hoping to catch the, I'm sorry, not overruns, pursues. I was trying to catch the Pterodons. They got away, but there's 2 left, I think, 1 or 2 left, and that's fine. Hopefully they don't rally, but if they do, maybe I can deal with them later. I got the Temple Guard with the slam. That's what's important. And then over here, still stuck fighting this Skink Chief. I can't wound him. He can't wound me. We're just flubtastic. Yeah, words. They're there. They are stopping the Saurus Warriors from doing anything. That's kind of nice. And it is a bit of a traffic jam because of it. So that's something, but I would have preferred to get the points already and move on. Then over here, Archon does pretty well. I really can't complain. Kills about 5 of these guys, and that's the wounds I got through. He did a lot more wounds than that. It's just unfortunate that he, couldn't do more than that. And he takes 2 wounds for his trouble because he's only got a 6-up armor, which I think is garbage. But whatever. He's got a 6-up armor. It is what it is. He takes 2 wounds. I win this combat. They're steadfast, and it'll go anywhere. Then over here, the Scorpion does well. I think he takes a wound, but he does like 4. I win this combat, but they're steadfast, and they stick around. Then over here, oh, baby. Oh, baby. I do try to challenge. The Slan, of course, rejects it and goes to the back. And yeah, we obliterate all but 4 of the Temple Guard. Which, it doesn't matter. I win by a ton. I do lose some Skeleton Warriors. Not a big deal. But yeah, for the most part, since there's Temple Guard left, they're stubborn. And, with the what's it called? Cold-blooded, they're not going anywhere, but that unit has maybe a turn, maybe 2 left, and I'm fine with that. That unit's going to be dead, and that's exciting because that's 1 less level 4 they have on that team, and trust me, I have been lucky as hell with the magic phases. I really have. So with all that said and done, we're getting tired, but we go to top of 5 after movement, and it's not that much because a lot of stuff is already in combat. But, like, for example, on the left flank, the Bloodletters go into more chaff, which is perfectly fine. In the middle there, with my Skeleton Warriors and the Slant and everything like that, a Lance unit charges in there just to try to negate my ranks and do a little bit of combat res to help the Slant out. I should have seen that coming. I didn't. I just, tunnel visioned on with the Slant there. But I'm okay with it. With a little luck, I'll be able to finish off the Slant and then turn to face the Lance unit and finish them off, which I'm perfectly fine with. Then over on the right side there, the Bretonnian General slams into the rear of Archon the Black, which pretty much spells the end for him because I know he's got Heroic Killing Blow, so it's just a matter of time now. But I tried. What can you do? And like on the same side over there, the Pegasus Knights start moving over to try to save the archers from the Scorpion. And other than that, there's really nothing going on. The SARS Warriors rally, the Pterodons I think rally. And that's really about it. There's a better picture of the Bloodletter slamming into my chaff, and I'm fine with that. There's a better picture of the Lance slamming into my Skeleton Warriors. And while I'm not fine with that, I think I can deal with it. There's a better picture of the Bretonnian hero, Lord anyway, slamming into Archon the Black, and I think that's pretty much going to spell the end for him. And during the magic phase, he gets Throne of Vines off on his little level 4 because I just didn't care. I was so worried about other spells, I didn't care about Throne of Vines. During the magic phase, the Slan gets Speed of Light or something like that off on the Saurus Warriors. I guess it's in case Nagash decided to charge them, which, of course, it wasn't going to stop me. But, yeah, that spell goes off on them. And then the team, they're tired. It's top of 5. This has been a long game already. They're not really communicating anymore. And the Chaos guy, he didn't tell him that Curse of Years was still on the Bloodletters, and he did try to stop it, but he didn't have a caster, so he wasn't able to hit the 12 casting value. So the spell went off again, and a handful of Bloodletters died, which was awesome. In fact, the first casting of Curse of Years, Skulltaker took a wound, so I was kind of hoping that maybe, just maybe, I could take out a character or two. That would have been awesome. During the shooting phase, the Razordon fires away at my Scorpion again and does a wound, I think, to him. So the Razordons are pretty effective. You Lizardman player, take note. Those Razordons can do some damage. And over here, the Morghasts. I'm sorry, I missed it. They did charge a Bastiladon and made it. And as you can see, I did a wound to the Bastiladon. The Bastiladon did a wound to me. I won by 1 because of the charge, and it doesn't matter because the Bastiladon didn't fail. Then over here, nothing. We continue to play Pinochle with the Skink Chief because I can't wound him and he can't wound me. So it's a stalemate at least, and it's a nice traffic jam. Over here in combat, Archon ends up after combat res and everything like that with 7 wounds. I think he's got 8 total or something like that. I'm not 100%. But yeah, he's almost dead, which is really bad. But he's still alive. That's something. I do end up taking out some more men-at-arms. Not many. Obviously, I lose his combat. But he's still alive with like 1 wound. So I'm hoping. And then over here, the Scorpion flubs a little bit, takes out I think 2 or 3 of the archers, but they're still steadfast. They still are steadfast because there is a full rank there still, and they don't break. And that's probably for the best because the Pegasus Knights will chew up the Scorpion, no problem. And then over here, the Temple Guard are dead. The Slan is in a challenge with the Vampire Lord and makes all of his ward saves, which is unfortunate. My Tomb King does make way into the Bretonnians. I'm sorry, the Tomb King accepts a challenge from the Bretonnian Paladin or whatever that's in there and is able to hold his own against them. But the Slan makes a bunch of his ward saves, and that's unfortunate. But the Temple Guard are dead, so I'll take that. The Slan does make its break check. I do win this combat. The Slan makes his break check. The Bretonnians make their break check. But it's something, and I'll take it. And it's going the right direction. So combat stays just like that. It's not like I can reform or anything like that. And yeah, we continue on to bottom of 5 after movement. And yeah, there's a little bit. Again, not a ton. Like I said, it's getting late. We're a little tired, and I'm making bad decisions. I send the Bone Giant into the unit of Bloodletters just to see what'll happen. I know it's a terrible idea. I just didn't care. I wanted to see what the Bone Giant could do. I don't take them in my normal lists. The other one did well. It was just unfortunate that my opponent rolled his ward saves as spectacularly as he did. So I'm hoping that it doesn't happen the same over here. And I'm curious. I want to see what happens. So I charge him in there and made it. Then over here, Nagash charges the Saurus Warriors again, and they get away. They bounce through a bunch of stuff, causing, I think, the Pterodons to flee as well. I try to redirect, and everything just gets away from him, which is unfortunate. The Saurus Warriors actually end up behind the Skeleton Warriors after charges and everything like that. It's kind of weird, because even my Var guys try to charge them. It's interesting. And then over on the right there, you can see the Men-at-Arms get charged by the one remaining Scorpion that's not in combat, which is cool. It's grabbing its straws, I gotta be honest. Other than that, I'm just really trying to survive, and make it to turn 6, because while it's going well in the left flank, I still have a huge problem, and I am moving my Tomb Guard and my Ghouls over there because they're just out of position now. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do with them on the right side. I kind of wish I had brought the Tomb Guard over to the right, but I thought they would do better against the Bloodletters. Not the best decision I've ever made, but, what can you do? Yeah, hindsight's 20/20. And I was really hoping that Nagash and the Terrorgeist and stuff like that would be in combat a little bit better. But, what can you do? I made a mistake. So, yeah, everything is kind of coming to a head in the center, and I have a lot of assets way over on the left flank, which I really shouldn't have done. Oh, well. I'll learn better next time for my next 12,000 point game. There's about a picture of my Bone Giant, my one remaining Bone Giant, slamming into the Bloodletters, and that's just a curiosity thing. And there's a better picture of Nagash scaring away most of the Saurus army. There's a better picture of the Scorpion trying to help Archon the Black out because, he's a decent person. And, yeah, we go into magic. And I'm able to get +1 attack and Killing Blow off on my Skeleton army, which is good. I'm able to bring back about 7 Skeleton Warriors, 7 or 8, which is really fantastic. And now I have Killing Blow, and I have +1 attack. So the guys that get to attack are going to hopefully do a lot of Killing Blow to things that aren't going to be able to handle it. The Killing Blow, however, was a irresistible force, and my Lich High Priest ends up rolling a miscast 5.
9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9.
Yeah, she does end up taking the wound for her miscast, and for those of you keeping score at home, that's 3 miscasts for me and 0 for my opponents. Because statistics, I don't even know. There's no such thing as math in this game. Anybody who says otherwise has never really played. It just, no, no. Then in the shooting phase, we go over here, and the Banshee screams at the Bloodletters and does exceptionally well, killing 8 of them. Yeah, yeah, I'm not even sure exactly how that worked, but it did, and I'll take it. Then we go over here into combat, and yeah, the Slan issues a challenge, and I take it with my Tomb King. So I go up there, and I put 2 or 3 wounds through on the Slan, which is pretty good. And then the Lance formation down there, I think they take 1 wound. I'm not 100% on that. I think it's a killing blow too, which is kind of nice. But in the end, I think I lose this combat. I'm not 100%. Bottom line is nothing bad happens on either side. They don't break. I don't break. Nothing, or lose anything really spectacular. And so we stay there a little bit longer. So the Lance formation has actually been a bit more of a pain in the ass than I expected it to be. Probably should have expected it to be that way. But it is what it is. And we're still there. And it's still going my way. So I'm not going to complain. Speaking of not going my way, though, yeah, the Spirit Host continue playing patty cake against the Skink Chief. I think they do 1 wound to him this time, but yeah, there's just nothing I can do right now. So I win this combat, it doesn't matter, and we continue to stay there. No, wait, I'm sorry, that's not true. That's not true. I do win this combat by 1. He breaks, he gets away, and the Spirit Host ends up slamming into the Saurus Warriors. So that's cool. That's what I finally get the Skink Chief to go away. Then over here, yeah, I think that Bretonnian Lord is able to kill off Archon the Black. So I guess if Nagash dies this time, there will be no bringing him back. The Tomb Scorpion does do some damage to the, what's it called, Men-at-Arms. But in the end, I think I lose by 1, and it doesn't matter because I'm an Arcane Construct. And they turn to face me, and the Bretonnian Lord just kind of takes it easy. He's killed off Archon the Black and a Casket today. What more do you want from him? Over here, my Scorpion's able to kill off 3 more the little peasant bowmen, but they make their break check because there's a knight near them, and that sucks. And then over here, the Bastiladon takes another couple of wounds. I don't take any. I win this combat, and it doesn't care. It stays right where it's at, forcing me to kill it next turn, I guess. Over here in combat, yeah, no real good things, but no real bad things. I'm able to, I think I take out Skulltaker, which is really good, and with Thunderstomps, I'm able to take out a bunch of the Bloodletters, but I lose my Banshee. I guess the Banshee was in combat with him. I guess that was the next one that they hit. But yeah, that's fine. And I think I win this combat. Not a huge big deal, but as you can see, the unit has been whittled down pretty well. And after the combat's said and done, he turns to face. Just 3-man. He's got the command up front, and he just, yeah, conga lines him like that into the what's it called? The guy there, and that's not great, but it's not terrible. I don't know. Bottom line is I'm not thrilled. Probably shouldn't have put the damn guy in there like that, but I did, so what can you do? With all that said and done, we go to top of 6 after movement, and as you can see, we have beat the crap out of each other. There's really not a ton left. What little there is, though, is charging. His unit of Knights, Knights of the Realm or whatever, that got attacked by the Casket earlier, they do a Hail Mary charge. He literally needed an 11 to hit my Casket, and he rolled it, and he made it, and he slams into my frickin' Casket, and what can you do? What can you do? That lady really favors him, and I hope she died horribly. Then over there in that combat with the Saurus Warriors and the Spirit Host, the Lance slams into the Spirit Host. Not so much because they can do anything to him, but just combat res, and that's actually smart. And then in the back right where the, what's it called, Tomb Scorpion is, the Pegasus Knights slam into him because there's an opening now. And I'm just going to hope that I can get my last 2 wounds in on the Peasant Bowman and solidify those points before I lose my Scorpion. Other than that, not a whole heck of a lot. It's top of 6. We're exhausted. I think we just want the game over. But we're still fighting. We're still fighting. There's been a picture of that Lance formation making a charge from downtown into my Casket, which is garbage. And there's a better picture of his other Lance formation slamming into the Spirit Host, which isn't garbage. That's just smart tactics. And there's a better picture of those Pegasus Knights that I've killed like 8 times now this game, slamming into my Scorpion. Laura Life and that POS level 4. Really wish I had killed her. During the magic phase, speaking of POS level 4, Laura Life kicks in, and he's able to regrow a couple of knights, bringing that unit back up, which is awful. And then she gets Awakening of the Woods off on my archers. I did try to stop it. I failed to stop it. And yeah, I think 4 or 5 archers die. Also, during the magic phase, I believe Amber's Spear hits my Titan and does 3 wounds to him or something like that. He's not dead yet, but he's really close. And with nothing else really going on in the shooting or magic phase, we go into combat, and yeah, the Bloodletters are able to put the last wound through on my guy, my giant, which is my own stupid fault. I never should have put him in there, but I think I got Skull Taker or One Eye. I think I got One Eye with the giant, so that's something at least. But yeah, it was really stupid to charge him in there. I was curious to see what was going to happen. And then over here, I am able to get the last 2 peasants, at least, before the charge from the Pegasus Knights finish off the Scorpion. So, oh well, at least I got the peasants. That's something. Over here, I'm able to do a little bit of damage to the Men-at-Arms. They're able to do a little bit of damage to me in the end. I think I win this combat, but they're steadfast. They don't go anywhere. And then over here, not a good day to be a Spirit Host. They've really had the poop end of the stick. They ran into 2 Skink Chiefs that were just, you know, adamantium tough. And then when they finally run into some Saurus Warriors, they aren't able to do anything to them. In the end, I ended up losing all but 1 of my Spirit Hosts, and who's carrying a wound now. Not a good look, but, you know, at least they're stopping them from overrunning into the Skeleton Warriors and stuff like that. So that's something. And then over here, I get the Slan. Finally finished off the Slan. I'm not able to do anything to the Knights because he's making his 6-up wards. I am doing Killing Blow. I have 4 attacks at him, and I do get some Killing Blows out of it, and he makes his ward saves, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I win this combat, and there's really no reason... Well, I mean, there's a reason for me to turn to face, but I can't. So instead of going through all that, I just don't care. He's not going to be able to finish off that unit. I'm not going to be able to do anything to his unit, so I just don't care, and I keep them right where they're at. And then over here, the casket explodes. It gets beat in combat res. Obviously, I'm not able to do anything to him. He's able to finish me off no problem. And then the casket explodes. This casket's death is much, much more effective than the last casket's death. It does 2 wounds to the Knights Errant that killed it, 1 to the Knights of the Realm, or I don't know, I got them all confused, but does 1 to the other unit of Knights in there, which is pretty good. It kills like 4 Saurus Warriors and 2 or 3 of my Skeleton Archers. Much better showing than the last explosion, so I'm happy about that. No, it doesn't get me any points, but it does make me feel better that a bunch of those guys died for their trouble. And then over here in combat, the Morghast finished off the Bastillodon, which is really, really cool. I was very happy about that. And because I need points. It's a really close game. I feel that I'm losing. So, yeah, getting the Bastillodon and stuff like that is huge. So, with all that said and done, that's it for their stuff. So, this is it for me. This is my last chance to do something. We go into bottom of 6 after movement. And I make some desperate charges. What else can I do? In the middle there, my Morghast, they charge into the Lance formation. I'm just kind of hoping that Killing Blow can get past that 5-up ward save. You know, something. It's better than nothing, I guess. As you can see, kind of, my Vampire Lord tries to charge the Saurus Warriors. No, I'm sorry. My Vampire Lord tries to charge the Bretonnian General that's on the other side of the, what's it called? The Saurus Warriors, because I want him dead. And I know he's got Heroic Killing Blow. I just don't care. I'm not going to be able to do enough to the Saurus Warriors in 1 turn of combat to break them. It was the only viable charge that I had, and I failed it. I needed like a 13, and I rolled a 12. 3 1s. Can you friggin' believe it? But it is what it is. What can you do? Then a little bit over there towards the left of where I had you looking before, Nagash finally runs into a unit. He hits a bunch of skinks with a little skink priest installed. I'm going for points, and the fact that Nagash finally got into combat is exciting. Other than that, though, Nothing else really happens. I just don't have anything positioned like I need it, and it's unfortunate, but that's my own fault. And in my defense, though, I was playing with 12,000 points, more than I'm used to ever playing with, like 4 times more than I'm used to playing with. So I think I did pretty good. I think I did all right. There's a better picture of Morghast slamming into the lance, and that's just to hopefully bail out my Skeleton Wars before it gets too bad. And there's a better picture of Nagash finally getting into combat, and that's completely my fault. I used Nagash terribly this game, and you know what? I'd never played with him before. I almost never play with special characters, so the fact that I had Nagash at all was just kind of exciting, and I saw him more as a caster than a combat guy. And then I looked at his stats, and I was like, ah, stupid Bill. I should have had him in the Bretonnian lines from turn 1. That's my fault, and if I ever play with him again, I won't make that mistake again. There's a better picture of my Titan and my Vampire Lord failing charges, which really sucks. Nothing happens in a magic phase. To be perfectly honest, I was worried about misfiring and ruining a caster, so we just went into combat. And the catapult finally hits dead center on the bloodletters, and it does a little bit of damage. I think like 3 or 4 die, but it's not enough to really matter. But it finally hit, yay! And then over here, Nagash, we go into combat, and Nagash just obliterates the skeletons. Or the skinks. It's a little inspiring, actually. I really wish he had been in combat with something more substantial. But yeah, I get the skinks and the skink priest, no problem. Feel really good about that. And then over here in combat, I'm able to do some damage. The Morghast do take a little bit of damage for their trouble, but I'm able to put 2 wounds through on them that stick, which is really, really nice. And they lose this combat, which is outstanding because they flee. I catch them with the Morghasts, and they slam into the level 4. If I only had 1 more turn, I might have been able to kill this witch, but I wasn't, so what can you do? Also, as you can see, the Saurus Warriors over there, the Morghasts did try to charge the Saurus Warriors. They fled, and they got away, and then they redirected into that Lance unit. Also, as you can see from this picture, or I'm sorry, from this picture, the Lance Formation Saurus Warriors, I wasn't able to do anything with the 1 remaining Spirit Host, and Combat Res blew them up. So in the end, the Spirit Hosts that were plagued by skinks the whole time ended up buying it, and that's a shame. But a fitting end, I guess. It really wasn't a good day to be a Spirit Host. And then over here, yeah, the Men-at-Arms, they're able to put a wound through on my Scorpion. I think I flub. I'm not able to do anything back. Combat Res finishes them off, and that's unfortunate. The Scorpions did pretty well. So it is what it is. The Men-at-Arms actually kind of pissed me off that they survived as long as they did, but oh well. But that's it. If you're still paying attention after all that, that's it. That's the end of the game. Battle Report 200 is in the books. And we're exhausted. That's what the table looks like at the end. There is a decent showing left for me on the table, and I have definitely hurt most of them. Even the Bretonnians in the end felt it. So I felt like I did well. And you know what? In the end, I had a lot of fun. This game was intense. I got to try out a lot of good things. Kind of caught my attention. The Tomb Guard really caught my attention. The you know, different units and stuff like that I normally wouldn't take. Chariots, I have a new perspective on. The snakes, I think, were a fluke in that one game I played long, long ago. So, yeah, all in all, I have a lot of new things I want to try out for my lists and stuff like that, and expect to see more of that coming up when I get back to normal battle reports. But, you know what? We'll get to the recap in a second, because right now, this game is over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Hey guys, you know these tokens, you've seen them 100 times, and you know what? Every time you see them, if you haven't bought them yet, you're just wasting time. Get these tokens. All of the lords of whatever spell you're casting, all the wound counters. You see me use them in every single game, and you've never heard me since I've been using the counters going, I can't remember how many wounds I had, or what spell was on this guy, or whatever. And they're flawless. They're awesome. You're the envy of everyone you play against. Send Token Gal an email. Get these tokens. They're dirt cheap, but they're solid gold quality, guys. I'm telling you, you cannot go wrong. A lot of people have already ordered them, and nobody's returned any. Nobody's even asked to return any. All they do is they order more. Get yours. Get them soon. You're wasting time, and these are totally worth it. Tell her Tremendous sent you. Hey guys, I got another great deal for you. Movement trays. We all use them. We all need them. If you're watching this report, you have some or you need some. And do I have the vendor for you? This guy makes solid metal movement trays. I mean, cuts them to your specifications using a galvanized metal. It's not that cheap, thin, weak aluminum. This stuff is sturdy. I'm using them. I used them all throughout this game. Take a look at the pictures. They're all in there. I love these trays. They're metal, so they auto-magnetize. You know, well, provided you put magnets on your guys. And he does them dirt cheap, guys. I'm telling you. He's got an eBay page. There's an email on here. Get a hold of this guy. Get yourself some movement trays and get yourself organized. You're going to be thrilled. You can paint them. You can do everything. These things are awesome. My local game store guy is literally in contact with this guy so that he can become a vendor. That's how high quality these things are. So I'm telling you guys, give this guy an email. Check out his eBay page. Get yourself some movement trays and stop playing like a Neanderthal. Tell him Tremendous sent you. You won't regret it. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if you were paying attention or not, but we got a few new pictures. So not only does Unleashed Wargaming paint amazing models for commission and stuff like that, send him an email. He does excellent work, as you've seen from the pictures. Not only does he do all the different Magic lore cards for Warhammer Fantasy, I mean every lore. You want Storms of Magic? Send him an email. You want Lore of Fire? Send him an email. You want every lore that's ever been out in 8th edition? Send him an email. These things are solid. They're laminated. They're on cardstock. They're Photoshop made. They're amazing. And they're good. They're well priced, guys. I'm telling you. And now he's also doing 40K cards. The psychic stuff or whatever. I don't play 40K, but if you do, there's nothing wrong with that. But there is something wrong with it if you don't get these cards and if you don't have your models painted by them. Just throwing it out there. Just, you know, you may, if you feel guilty, that's because you know you're wrong. But send this guy an email, get your models looking good, get the cards that you need, get your real game going, and tell him Tremendous sent you. You're not going to regret it. So in the end, I know a little anticlimactic, but I'm going to report it to you truthful. It was a draw. Yeah, this game was so close. After we did the point totals and everything like that, and totaled up like the difference for, you know, taking into account that instead of 2,500 points, it's 12,000. It was a draw. I ended up getting 3,116 points from Token Gal, 3,360 from the Legion of Chaos, and 1,325 for the Bretonnians. I really didn't do enough to the Bretonnians. So I ended up getting a total of 7,801 victory points. In return, I ended up giving up 8,355 for a difference of 544 points. Yeah. After we did the math and everything like that, somebody with me was good at math, not me. They were like, it's actually a draw. Yeah. So, Battle Report 300, we will have a rematch where we determine how the hell that happened. But yeah, that was intense. An intense game. 10 hours it took to play this game. 10. We were exhausted. It felt like we had just run 10 miles. We were like, oh, I need a nap. But, you know, it was a really fun game. It was really rare that we get to play with that many points, 4,000 or 12,000. It was kind of fun seeing all the models on the table and all the different options. We really enjoyed it. And, yeah, it was a 10 hours well spent. That skink unit, stopping my units of Spirit Host units anyway for the entire game. Those were the most amazing skinks I've ever played against. And I played against Token Gal skinks before, but oh my god, she should just have an army of skinks. And nobody would ever beat her because her skinks love her. I don't get it. You know, it just, what can you do? That was amazing. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I killed Archeon. Yeah, the end times are over. You're welcome. I did it. Even Archon died. That was my Bretonnian opponent. The Punisher took out Archon. So it's not like it's coming back. Archeon and Archon are dead, people. Let it go. Let it go. It happened. You saw it here. Battle Report 200. 2 major characters died. And yeah, because we don't take prisoners, baby. We don't take prisoners. My Tomb Guard really impressed me. That 6,666 point game, this game, they're really a lot better, like amazingly a lot better than Skeleton Warriors. I know, everybody else has this figured out but me, but I like them. I like them. And Graveguard and all that, talking with everybody. I think instead of Skeleton Wars, I'm really going to have to go that direction. I haven't decided if I want to stay with Sword and Board or if I want to go with the higher strength. I'm still mulling that over in my mind. I still like to play this army more defensive than offensive, but I do see where the higher strength would be better. I get the Banner of the Barrows. I get all that. I understand it. Give me time. Give me time. I actually have Tomb Guard. I would have to buy the Grave Guard, and that would be expensive as hell. So we'll see. We'll see. Give me time. Give me time to figure this out. Yes, I do realize how badly I misused Nagash. I really should have had him in combat a lot sooner. Trust me, guys, Death Holy Death saw the game, and he started razzing me immediately about how poorly I used Nagash. So don't worry, I've already taken the verbal lashings for how badly I used Nagash, but I'd never used him before, and I saw him as a caster, not a combat guy, which was stupid. But you know what? I learned something today, and that made the game worth it right there. I also learned that big bricks of chariots are really cool to look at, really neat, but if they don't charge and kill the unit that they charged in the first round of combat, they're dead. They're free points to your opponents. Don't get me wrong, probably one of the better core choices I could have chosen for a game like this, but I was really disappointed in their overall performance. So don't expect to see too many chariots in my future list, other than, you know, just the little 3-bangers that I like to bring. The Bretonnians lady and stuff, I am so glad they killed her. I'm so glad that Chaos did horrible, horrible things to her. I hope her death was painful. I hope every single prophetess and damsel felt it. I hate her more than I hate elves. I've said it. You heard it here first. Battle Report 200 in the recap. I hate the Lady of the Lake more than I hate elves. The amount of ward saves that she allows her damn guys to get that they wouldn't even get normally as a normal human being makes me sick. And they always make it against me. Always. Doesn't matter the opponent. Doesn't matter the situation. That 6-up, 5-up ward save depending on the strength. It just... This is the reason that my lakes around my area are so polluted, because I pollute them after every game. I hate them. Hate the lady. Poor stalkers. Speaking of which, talk about wronged by the lady. The stalkers did like 7 wounds to the level 4, and I think 1 got through. Damn the Lady of Lake. Damn her straight into the chaos death she deserves. I wish my catapults worked even a quarter of as well as the Bretonnian trebuchets did. I hate my catapults. Absolutely hate them. They have never been worth their points. Not once. I could have taken 4. I could have taken 8. I could have taken nothing but catapults for my rare choices, and they still would have sucked. I hate those things. I hate them. I'm done with war machines. Just done with them. But all in all, it was really the coolest thing about this whole battle report for me and playing the game was seeing 24,000 points on the tables. It was a lot to remember. It was a lot to pay attention to. Obviously, I missed a lot. I'm not saying that I played it perfectly or even well. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. But yeah, it was so much to pay attention to, so much to remember and think about. I was so exhausted after this game. I didn't trust myself to drive. I had to like caffeine up, you know. Oh, it was crazy, but it was so cool to see that many models on the table all at once. It was so amazing to play this game, and just it was like playing 3 games all at once on the same table. It's exactly what it was, but it was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed it, and this might be a staple. Every 100 battle reports or so, I might have to do like a massive, huge game just to outdo this one. But it was epic, definitely epic. And like I said, it took 10 hours of continuous play. We did not take a break. We played like the champions that we are. And in the end, I know it was a draw, but what an epic draw. It was really, really fun. For this many points, to have it at 554 points in the end, it was amazing. just amazing. It was a really great game. These were terrific opponents, all three of them. If you ever get the opportunity to play any of them, you will not be disappointed. They are fantastic people to play against. And this was the perfect game for me to have for Battle Report 200. But seriously, guys, all jokes aside, I'm really, really happy to hit Battle Report number 200. Thank everybody that watches and comments, positive and negative, have really motivated me to keep going with this channel. I'm really enjoying it. It's humbling to me that actually over 3,000 people have subscribed now at this point. I mean, I started doing this like a year and a half ago, August of 2013. And here we are now, Battle Report 200, 3K subscribers. I mean, guys, I started this Battle Report as a journal for myself, and I made it public so that my friends could see our games together. And now it's exploded into this with the, Token Gal, Trey Dude, Unleashed Wargaming, the Banner Guy, even though he's not doing it anymore. Just the people that I've met at GTs are just astounding. I mean, it's really been something else. And thank you, everybody, for supporting the channel and enjoying it and keeping me motivated and stuff. I really appreciate it. This wouldn't happen without everybody, and I appreciate it very much, more than words can tell. But don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Still desperately in love with fantasy, still desperately excited for 9th edition and see where the game goes, loving my undead. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing Battle Report 300 and beyond. But yeah, this is my callous way of asking if you guys see anything you'd like to see in the battle reports, change, different, whatever. As always, let me know in the comment section below. And if I think it's a good idea or if it motivates me or something like that, then hell yeah, I'll implement it and I'll give you full credit for doing it, or for suggesting it anyway. But I've been talking for well over an hour now. I'm tired, and this battle report is epic enough on its own. So I'm done, guys. Thanks.